We are talking about a large-scale military operation that resulted in the destruction of a key command headquarters of the armed forces of Ukraine, the death of a high-ranking general, and serious changes in the command and control system on the southern front. To understand the importance of what happened, it is necessary to consider the overall situation that had been developing in the Black Sea region over the preceding period. In recent months, the southern direction was regarded by the Ukrainian command as strategically vital. This area contained critical logistics routes linking the country's interior with port infrastructure and served as a coordination hub for operations along the coastline and in the Black Sea. The Odesa region played a key role not only militarily, but also politically and economically. Control over this node meant control over supplies, troop movements, and the stability of command structures in the south of the country. For this reason, a large command headquarters was deployed in the Odesa area. According to analysts, it functioned as a regional control center, overseeing several operational directions at once. The headquarters was a complex underground facility located at significant depth. It included protected command halls, communication nodes, server rooms, autonomous power systems, and air filtration units. The facility was considered one of the most protected and was designed to operate even under massive strikes. In Ukrainian and Western military circles, it was seen as nearly invulnerable. However, in early January the situation changed dramatically. Over several days, unusual activity was recorded in the information and intelligence space. Satellite surveillance systems detected increased radio traffic in the area of the presumed headquarters, intensified communications, and movement of personnel. All of this suggested that the facility was operating in an enhanced regime and was likely being used to coordinate large-scale actions. According to sources, it was at this stage that a decision was made to carry out a targeted operation to destroy the command center. The planning was multi-layered and involved the use of modern strike systems capable of penetrating layered air defenses and hitting deeply buried targets. The operation began at night, when civilian activity was minimal and conditions were most favorable for covert weapons use. The first phase involved the mass deployment of various types of drones. These drones performed several tasks at once: reconnaissance, suppression of air defense systems, and creation of an overload effect. Air defense units around Odesa were forced to respond to numerous targets simultaneously, leading to intensive activity, ammunition expenditure, and exposure of positions. For several hours, the sky was filled with flashes, interceptor trails, and explosions. Residents reported a constant roar and a sense of ongoing tension. Once air defenses were overloaded and partially disorganized, the key phase of the operation began. Advanced supersonic Oniks missiles were launched against primary targets. These missiles are known for their high speed, complex flight trajectories, and powerful penetrating warheads, making them especially effective against fortified and underground structures. Launches were conducted from a safe distance, outside the reach of most air defense systems. The missiles' speed and minimal flight time significantly reduced interception opportunities. According to available data, several missiles reached the area of the command headquarters. Almost immediately, powerful underground explosions were recorded. Witnesses reported strong vibrations felt across various parts of Odesa and its suburbs. In some areas, seismic sensors were triggered. Shortly afterward, disruptions in communications and power supply were observed, indirectly confirming that a critical facility had been hit. The results were devastating. The command headquarters was completely destroyed. Confirmed information indicates that a large number of officers were inside at the moment of the strike, including senior leadership. Among the dead was a general of the armed forces of Ukraine responsible for operations on the southern front. Many other operational and staff officers were reportedly killed or wounded. Analysts emphasize that the loss of such a number of command personnel in a short time is a serious blow to the control system. The disruption of the command chain leads to temporary disorganization, slower decision-making, and the urgent need to redistribute authority. Particular attention has been drawn to the very fact that a deeply buried facility was successfully struck. Until recently, such structures, protected by multi-layer reinforced concrete and located at great depth, were believed to be capable of withstanding most attacks. The use of Oniks missiles demonstrated that this confidence is no longer justified. The technological aspect of the operation has become a subject of close study by military specialists worldwide. Modern weapons that combine speed, accuracy, and power are effectively erasing the line between a secure rear area and the zone of direct risk. Even carefully hidden and fortified facilities can no longer be considered completely safe. Reactions followed immediately. Ukrainian official sources initially downplayed the scale of losses. However, indirect signs, urgent command reshuffles, disruptions in unit control, and changes in activity patterns on the southern front, pointed to the seriousness of the situation. The international community also responded with concern. The Odesa region is important not only for Ukraine, but for the entire security system of the Black Sea Basin. Escalation in this area increases the risk of wider conflict and affects the interests of several states. Experts note that the destruction of the command headquarters near Odesa could become a turning point. It demonstrates a shift toward systematic targeting of command, logistics, and coordination centers. In modern warfare, command and communications are critical. Without them, even well-equipped forces lose effectiveness. The events also highlight the growing role of precision weapons in changing the balance of power. The ability to strike critical targets with pinpoint accuracy reduces the importance of numerical superiority and places emphasis on technology, intelligence, and decision-making speed. The humanitarian aspect is also a cause for concern. Large-scale strikes on infrastructure, even when aimed exclusively at military targets, inevitably affect civilian life. Power outages, communication failures, and transport disruptions create additional hardships for residents. The information battle around these events has reached a high intensity. Different sides interpret what happened in their own way, attempting to shape a narrative that benefits them. In such conditions, verifying information becomes increasingly difficult. Military analysts agree that the events of early January 2026 near Odesa clearly demonstrate the new realities of modern warfare, a war of technology, intelligence, and precision strikes, where the key factor is not only force, but the ability to deprive the enemy of command and control. The future development of the situation remains uncertain. One thing is clear: what happened has already had a significant impact on the course of the conflict and has forced all parties to rethink their assumptions about security, protection, and the vulnerability of even the most fortified facilities.